Welcome to the Explainer. Today, we're breaking down a report from Virtualization Options LLC on a technology that could be secretly costing you money or saving you a fortune. Server virtualization.
All right, here's our game plan. We're going to start by unpacking a really common and costly problem called server sprawl. Then we'll dive into the smart solution and how you can actually choose the right path for your business. We'll wrap it all up with the key takeaways, the big questions you should be asking your team, maybe even as soon as tomorrow. Let's jump in. Okay, so let's kick things off with a problem that honestly quietly eats away at budgets in so many data centers, and a lot of times nobody even really sees it happening. It's called server sprawl, and it gets right to the heart of the hidden costs of doing IT the old way.
Now, I know this sounds a little harsh, but the report from Virtualization Options LLC really doesn't pull any punches here. The old model of one application, one server is just fundamentally broken. Think about it for a second. You've got these powerful machines running at maybe 15% capacity, but you're paying 100% of the cost for power, cooling, and real estate. It's like paying for an entire bus to transport just one passenger. It just doesn't make sense. And you know, that inefficiency creates some very real business headaches. It's not just about the high hardware and energy bills. It means your critical projects can get stalled for weeks just waiting for new servers to be set up. It means your most talented engineers are stuck managing physical boxes instead of creating value for the company. It's basically a tax on innovation. So what's the fix? Well, the report points to a proven technology that completely flips that old model on its head. It's called server virtualization, and it's all about doing radically more with the hardware you already own. Here's probably the best way to understand it. A traditional server is like a single-family home. Virtualization comes along and turns that home into an apartment building. Now you can run dozens of different applications, your tenants, on that single piece of hardware. Each one is isolated and secure in its own apartment, but they all share the building's foundation, power, and plumbing. That is efficiency. And the business impact of this is immediate and profound. You see a dramatic reduction in what we call the total cost of ownership. That's TCO, the full cost of an asset over its entire life, not just the purchase price. By consolidating servers, you're not just buying less hardware, you're slashing your power bills and freeing up your IT staff. So how dramatic is that reduction? The research from Virtualization Options LLC finds that a typical organization can cut its total cost of ownership by 30% or even more. Now that's a number that gets any CFO's attention. But the real strategic win here goes way beyond just cost savings. It's about agility. What if your marketing team needs a new environment for a campaign launch tomorrow? With virtualization, your team can create a new server in minutes, not the weeks it takes to order and install new hardware. This is how you move at the speed of the market. This approach also builds in some powerful resilience. We call it high availability. Because your applications aren't physically tied to one single server, they're protected from hardware failure. If one machine goes down, the applications running on it can automatically restart on healthy hardware, often with zero downtime. This is your insurance policy against costly outages. Okay, so the benefits are pretty clear. But the next logical question is, how do we get started? Choosing the right path is a critical strategic decision, and the report offers a really simple framework. The report breaks down vendor evaluation into 3 key areas. First, functionality. Can this platform handle your most critical, high-performance applications? Second, cost. Look beyond the initial license fee to the true total cost of ownership. And third, and this is crucial, expertise. Are you just buying software, or are you gaining a strategic partner who will help you succeed? And when we talk about total cost of ownership, this is what we mean. That upfront investment is often just the tip of the iceberg. The report's data shows that long-term operational costs, like annual support and maintenance, make up a massive portion of the total expense. Ignoring these is a common and costly mistake. This brings us to a crucial takeaway for any leader. You don't need to be a systems architect, but you do need to ask the right strategic questions. Arm your team with these. Make sure any vendor can clearly explain how their solution integrates with what you have, handles your unique workloads, and protects you when things go wrong. But many organizations aren't starting from zero. You may already have a virtualization platform.
So what happens when you suspect it's no longer the right fit or the right price? The report provides a clear guide for navigating a potential migration.
The report highlights two main paths for a move. Think of it as a choice between speed and optimization. The lift and shift approach is fast. You move everything as is. The trade-off? You might not get all the benefits of your new platform. The phased migration is more methodical, moving workloads in stages to reduce risk and optimize as you go. It takes more planning, but it often yields better long-term results.
Of course, any migration conversation starts with the business case. This means putting the costs side by side in black and white. You need to compare not just the licensing fees, but the annual support costs and any required hardware changes. Only then can you see the true financial impact of making a switch.
And whether it's your first time or you're migrating, success demands a disciplined plan. First, assess exactly what you have. Second, build a detailed roadmap for the transition. And third, and this is non-negotiable, run a pilot. Test the new solution in a controlled way before you bet the business on it.
We've gone from the core problem of server sprawl all the way to migration strategy. So let's boil this all down. As a leader, what are the most important actions you can take based on this information?
If you remember nothing else, remember these 4 things. 1. Challenge the status quo of your IT spending. 2. View virtualization as a tool for competitive agility, not just cost savings. 3. Make security and availability your top priorities in any evaluation. And 4. Insist on a clear, documented plan from your team for any change. That's how you lead through this.
Ultimately, this all comes down to one final, powerful question you should ask yourself and your team. Is your technology infrastructure actively helping you win, or is it silently holding you back? Thank you for joining this explainer.